And then even then, I turned around. Guess what? Before I drop the camera as I go downhill. Alrighty then. So, welcome back everyone. Today I'm on location at Germantown Metropark. And it is a nearly 1,600 up to 2,000 acre just nature marvel, honestly. It's a beautiful place, at least from what I could gather right now, but even when seeing previous photos from other people and whatnot, the place looks massive. So I checked out the trail map on my days, really months leading up to this trip, because this one's been one that I've been really anticipating by and large, and I'm really excited to finally be here and get the hike in, especially to photograph it. But so far today, it's some beautiful morning frost that kind of just gave way to this really not so pleasurable sky that's not really makes anything photographable. It's been very, as you can tell, it's a nice day out, of course. It's nice and fairly warm for a February day, but there's no real, at least for me, no real interest in photographing anything in particular. And at least at the moment, the main interest was early this morning, was the morning frost that seemed to really stick around for a while as well, which is pretty nice. And it just lined, it was just this like thick layer of frost just all over everything. And it looked pretty nice overall, but I didn't take really much photographs, if I'm being honest, or anything that is real noteworthy for this video or in general. So yeah, it's been going all right. Mainly the hike's been the highlight so far. There's been some spectacular views. I discovered quite a few waterfalls, creeks and streams, both big and small, that once again, if the lighting was just better, it would be I'd be much more apt to photograph them, at least. And unfortunately, it hasn't been the case. So I just merely, enjoyed them for what they are, and I took some video and some quick little phone snapshots, but not really a proper photograph with like filters and such, and like a real DSLR camera here. So that's a little shame, but that's okay, because this location is just so massive and so big that I just need to really focus on pre-scouting. Look around. There's a service road over here. Looks like a campsite over there. I'm just gonna turn around here. So yeah, it's been a nice little pre-scouting kind of trip, just because of how big the place is. I'm not even too sure if I can really cover all the ground. There's about 14 miles of trail, several different color-coded trail loops. All of them are loop trails, at least. I don't think I can really cover all of them, just because there's so many of them. And I mean, most of them are longer distances, at least of a mile or two each. And I mean, there is some overlap, but still a lot of hiking and a lot of scenery and stuff to look at. The longest one is about 7.5 miles. That's the orange one. I noticed with these Five River Metroparks, it seems like they're always using the orange one as the longest. So I'm thinking, without doing my research, I'm thinking they color code them based on the distance and all that. So maybe the orange ones are always the longest, because it definitely seems to be the case with most of their hiking trails. And whew, it's really warming up. That's why I sound out of breath a little bit here. But man, it's just a beautiful day out in general. And honestly, it's a good day overall to a pre-scout. I know but I mean, photography, the Latin word for photography is to paint with light. And so, I mean, I know I really emphasize it, but it's all about placing the emphasis. I mean, that thing, light is everything to the photograph and what makes or breaks it. And so if the lighting sucks, if it's really shallow, bland, kind of blah, like kind of is now, harsh shadows, leads more of the blown out highlights, then it's like a photograph's not quite as good. But if it's nice lighting, like say beginning or end of the day, or you find a way to make it work within the confines of this, which I definitely could if I tried, depending on the photograph at least. It'd probably be something much more cropped in like a nice diffused light, like shadowy kind of spot. Like, let's say if I'm doing a small telephoto landscape or a macro kind of shot, or even abstracts, I'd be much more likely to get a better photograph that way, at least. Yeah, it's very, very muddy, as expected at least. I quickly learned my lesson here about the 22-mile Twin Valley Trail that kind of cuts through here in Twin Creek Metropark. So I've been more or less hiking around pretty much all day at least. Hasn't really seen any photographs. Nothing really. I mean, I'm seeing things that are like kind of catching my eye, and seeing things that are popping out to me. But overall, it's because of one reason or another. There's something that's just holding me back from really taking a proper image. Actually, like setting up the shot, stopping, slowing down to actually like look at it. Simply because, like I said, it's just the grand size of just this whole place, this Metropark, but also just stuff like the lighting, which I mean it's getting later in the day now. It's getting towards the end of the afternoon and slowly getting into the evening, which means that the lighting is getting a little bit better now. I feel like we're past the worst of it, fortunately, but just not seeing any real images that are just popping out at me, so it's a little bit of a bummer. A little bit of hoping for something better. I'm still really enjoying the hike though, overall. Such a beautiful landscape, and I've been learning more about the place. I've already traversed over the entire the dam, and then there's the spillway as well, and I kind of checked out a little bit of the campsites that are right next to the connector trail that would lead you to the Twin Creek Metropark there, which I hiked previously, section hiked at least, the Twin Valley Trail there. And yeah, it's nice and warm now, or at least warmer. As you can tell, I took off my hats, and I got a little hiking stick here, which has been mega helpful with all these different hills and stuff around. I just, check out the trails on the other half of the Metropark here. Just a little bit ago crossed on the Pink Trail in particular at the moment, and just crossed where Sunfish Pond is. It's a little decently sized pond. I think it's mainly for fishing. Didn't see any kind of waterfowl or any water species, duck species, or any kind of wading birds like herons there, fortunately. But yeah, that's okay. And some of these hills, like this one, can be pretty slippery and muddy. It really gets your heart rate going pretty quickly. And I think I found another campsite. It looks like, at least. Yeah, the views are just spectacular. Just let me turn around so you can see it. But yeah, it's just amazing sights to really roam and see or whatever. I see some robins up here. Surprisingly a lot of bird life, at least for today, or at least this time of year out here. It's been very nice. I mean, the park's logo has a hawk on it. I believe it's a hawk. It might be an eagle. Little icon or whatever you want to call it for this particular Metropark. But yeah, raptors are definitely present here. It looks like down here is I've seen the sunlight sparkle on it. The moving water, it looks like of the Twin Creek, which is always awesome. But once again, if the lighting was better, maybe it'd be more potential for a photograph. And I have to check my map now. Sorry, I keep switching hands here. Just need to make sure I know where I'm going here with this. So we are at. I see. Okay. Now here's the real question. Do I want to time allotted, check out, shoot. See, we kind of cross this Metropark pretty easily, which means, fortunately, I think I might be able to set up for a sunset composition here. Maybe some kind of landscape. But we'll see what happens here. I just checked out the map, which I might as well show you now, but just kind of where I'm at least. And I'm really hoping to get at least one photograph. That'd be nice, and make the whole trip worth it. And I feel like it's very doable with more than likely the sunset here. But okay, so I am at kind of where the fork in the road is, where the orange and pink trail meet. And I can either go all the way up the Twin Valley Trail and the Orange Loop, and the trailhead up here is where I'm parked. Or I can go all the way around this pink and orange combined loop trail and then go back around and then redo this, you know, backtrack it or whatever, or just go turn around again. So kind of this little dilemma here. Really just depends on what I'm feeling. If I want to go back up north, I might be done a little bit earlier, I'm not sure. But yeah, I'll see what, I think I'm going to do this orange part first, and then maybe just drive around to a parking area somewhere down here and set up for my sunset composition, at least hopefully. So hilariously enough, I got all the way back, completed the orange loop trail, and then even then I turned around because, I don't know, I just felt like I really need to backtrack some more and check out the rest of the trail. And because there's a few sections I shortcutted, and I really wanted to see what they're about, just like right up here. I never did the combined orange and silver trail. I don't even know if I'm in the way here, but you get the point. I just said it. So I'm physically and mentally exhausted, practically spent. At this point I'm just putting in the miles. I'm not even sure if I'll get any photo at all today. I got a little over an hour of daylight, but like the tricky thing is just the sun's already going past the tree line over here, and it makes photographing in the woodland a lot more difficult. And yeah, I'm not sure, because by the time I get outside of the woodland here, which is still probably a couple miles off from where I'm at right now, I'm not even sure if there will even be a photograph worth taking. But I'm not going to put it down yet. It's never out of the realm of possibility here. I just don't know. Gosh, I just don't know what it would possibly be, honestly. Right now I'm just in this kind of hilly section over here, kind of making my way towards the old forest as it's known on the trail map. And there's pretty nice views from down here, ones I didn't see before, but I just can't believe I turned around. I don't know, I just wanted the challenge, I guess. Here's a nice little switchback I'm going around. But yeah, the sun's going down fast now, so I don't know. Alright, I'm going to save my energy and stop talking. Probably drink some more water here from my reservoir, however much is left. And pretty much keep on foot like I have been all day, but I'm probably not going to stop unless if I get to the end and leave, or if by some slim chance I get, as I stop right here, or if by some slim chance I get there before dark. But this might be, this trip might be going in overtime, I don't know. But fortunately I brought the headlamp, if so, which is, you know, no big deal at all, because the trails are pretty well laid out, as I can tell, from hiking all day today. As you can tell, I'm tired. But yeah, I'm gonna keep going here, and before I drop the camera as I go downhill, yeah. So hopefully I'll see you in a bit. So I'm looking over here at the Twin Creek. I'm actually going away from it a little bit here, but look like a nice spot to maybe see some warblers come spring. But anyways, what do I care? At least at the moment. So I have just a little bit less than half an hour of daylight. It's getting really shady. At least there's a lot of shade now in the woodland. The treetops over, the tallest trees over here, just barely have enough sunlight. Oh crap. Area resting, do not enter. I have to check the trail map. And there must be another way to get around here, I hope. Maybe. It's hard to tell. So, yeah. I guess we'll I gotta go up this hill. Oh my gosh. Today's just been interesting, to say the least. The nose drip pretty much has been all day with this sub 35, 40 degree weather or whatever. And I don't know. The battery's about to die on this camera too. Just top it all off, and that means I have to take off my pack and switch it out. But I don't know. Morale's just kind of low, very low. Exhausted. Probably should just went to the car and drove around. But it is all. Alright, like I was just saying, the battery died, of course. I was right in the middle of a pretty hilly terrain. There's just been some insane elevation gain drops, and most of them have switchbacks, which is where the instead of just going straight downhill, it kind of like meanders, kind of like in a snake fashion. I don't know what you call it, an S shape, I guess, like an S curve. So, and that basically, essentially, the way they build trails, overall, really, I guess, just a quick overview, is to prevent erosion. That's why they make them the way they do. That's why sometimes it wraps around a curve. Like there was a section a little bit back there of, I think it's on the yellow and orange trail, that kind of loops around, like you kind of go backwards almost, direction-wise, to where at least where I'm trying to go, which is back to the trailhead. And that's just to essentially prevent erosion, especially since you're right next to the Twin Creek over here. It's on my other side of the camera here. But yeah, switchbacks are meant to also ease the kind of discomfort of going, instead of just going straight uphill or downhill. You kind of have that ease of just kind of making your way down. It takes longer, a little bit longer at least. That's the trade-off. But like I said, it's much easier on your legs and physical, mental fortitude, which I have little to none of right now. Let alone to save any creative juices to photograph anything. I just, at this point, I don't even care. The sun just set right. It's unofficially setting right now, and I'm still deep in the woodland underneath these big hills, and yeah, it's just a little bit of a bummer, but it's okay. It's okay, because it's a great hike, great exercise. All this hiking just means you're going to sleep better at night, and so more than likely won't see anything. I got maybe another mile or two or so back to the trailhead, and we will call it quits for the day. But yeah, it's just hoping for something more. But it's nice mushroom spores over there behind me, though. Could photograph those, I don't know, but it's getting colder too, so kind of get back to the trailhead and we'll call it quits. No, I'm not done yet. Okay, I just had a thought. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is, because I feel like this, what I'm kind of feeling right now, just kind of some of my thoughts. I don't feel like it's being self-actualized as I wanted to, and at least in the context of this video, that's probably already gone way too long enough, but I feel like I'm going to sum up my thoughts here in a blog post, and I'll put the link to it in the description here of the video. Basically just talking about, because I feel like I learned a lot today. I learned that something I finally put into practice, something that I've thought about for a long time now, and that's to never force making a photograph if you're not feeling inspired, or if the photograph is just going to plain suck or whatever. So I feel like I learned a lot, because it was kind of hard at first, but I pretty much forced myself not to make the photograph, because I've had previous video trips where nothing was really quite working out, or I just wasn't feeling inspired at all, really, and I quote unquote forced a photograph, and it sucks. But I did it just to fill that void, fill that gap in the video. But here, this place is so grand, so just big and spectacular, and I can't wait for my future visits more so. But at the same time, I realized in the context of my first visit here, that's just, I'm almost expecting way too much, way too high of standards to produce an amazing photograph on the first visit. That alone would be a stroke of luck. And it's alright, that's part of the learning game. It's part of learning the location, the experience of it. And yeah, that's just the way it is. But yeah, like I said, for now, I'm just gonna probably put it more in writing than me just rambling here as I'm out of breath. But anyways, I'm almost back to the trailhead, finally. Probably got less than half a mile left. So I'm gonna end the video here, as it's really, really dark here in the cedar glades around me. Thanks so much for watching, guys. This has been Germantown Metropark. And until next time, make sure to get out here. Thank you.